aí, minha gente, tudo bem? Meu nome é Isabelle Felix e este é o Plano Infalível.
No episódio de hoje, CCXP e Gerard Way.
No episódio de hoje eu vou falar da Comic Con Experience. Experience, ou melhor, CCXP e agora a gente pode falar isso com certeza absoluta, é o maior evento nerd do ano, do Brasil, da América Latina, seja lá o que você queira taxar, mas é o evento. É o evento que fala de quadrinhos, é o evento que fala de séries, é o evento que fala de filmes, é o evento que pega tudo que está em voga agora na cultura pop e coloca num lugar só. Que tem alguns problemas estruturais? Tem, mas gente, nada nessa vida é perfeito, né? Ainda assim, é o evento que trouxe Frank Miller. E que não só trouxe Frank Miller, mas trouxe também Michelle Collins, que trouxe também Gerard Way, mas é também o evento que conseguiu trazer parte do elenco de grandes séries da Netflix, que trouxe parte do elenco de Sense8, que trouxe parte do elenco de Jessica Jones. Gente, ele trouxe David Tennant. Ok, temos esses problemas, mas calma, gente, coisas que vão ser resolvidas. Então, assim, é um evento que vale a pena você ir, é um evento que vale você guardar todo o seu dinheirinho pra ir, porque não só você vai conseguir, talvez, conhecer todas as pessoas, ou ver algum painel com essas pessoas, assim como você também vai ter tanta coisa pra fazer. Meu Deus do céu, eu nunca vi um evento com tantas coisas pra você fazer. Tem muita fila? Tem fila até pra loja de camisetas, né? Mas ainda assim é um troço que vale a pena, gente. Porque não só tendo todas as grandes atrações, como também todas essas lojas que você pode comprar coisas, você também tem outros painéis menores, mas também com assuntos super interessantes, ainda envolvendo essa área de quadrinhos, como tem a minha querida Artist Alley, ou Beco dos Artistas, que é um lugarzinho assim que mora no meu coraçãozinho, gente. Eu conheci muitas pessoas legais, troquei ideia com muita gente, conheci trabalho de muita gente diferente e eu comprei muitos quadrinhos. Eu estou, tipo, falida, mas é por uma boa causa, não é mesmo? Porém, contudo e todavia, o grande destaque para a minha pessoa, aquilo assim que marcou o evento no meu coraçãozinho, foi uma entrevista com Gerard Way. Que, se você não conhece, ele é o vocalista da ex-banda My Chemical Romance, que fez muito sucesso, assim, uns 3 anos atrás e tal. e que agora ele tem um projeto solo dele, mas que também é quadrinista. Ele é o autor do grande sucesso Umbrella Academy, Suíte do Apocalipse, e de Umbrella Academy, Dallas. Ele também é o autor de outros quadrinhos que ainda não chegaram aqui no Brasil. Um deles é The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, e ele também é o autor de um dos fascículos que farão parte do prólogo do Aranhaverse. Ele vai fazer uma que é, sinceramente, uma das minhas favoritas, e não é porque simplesmente, eu gosto de Gerard Way, ou porque, ele é meu guilty pleasure, porque quando eu era adolescente eu adorava ouvir My Chemical Romance. Não é nada disso, não é porque a história realmente é muito boa, tá? Então eu fiz essa entrevista junto com o Samir Naliato, do Universo HQ, e nós então bolamos assim um plano infalível para fazer várias perguntas super legais para ele. Essa entrevista também se encontra no site do Universo HQ e tem aqui ela agora, bonitinha, com o meu rosto, com o rosto dele, eu super acabada, suada, enfim, né? E ele lá divo, ou não, né? Eu não sei como é que você... Enfim, né? Seu conceito de beleza. Pra mim ele estava ali divo, lindo, branquelo, franjinha, enfim, olhinhos azuis, super tchuco. E eu estava lá, né, toda... Enfim.
Olá pessoal, eu tô aqui com o Gerard Way, autor de Umbrella Academy. Ele é um autor que aqui no Brasil ele é conhecido por uma galera mais alternativa, mas eu creio que agora ele vai passar a ser um autor que todo mundo vai conhecer através do trabalho dele com o Homem-Aranha. Eu tô fazendo uma entrevista aqui tanto para o Plano Infalível como também para o Universo HQ e eu espero que vocês gostem. I'm going to start with a basic question.
Sure.
I know you grew up like a nerd, like a geeky, and I know you played Peter Pan when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I know you were very shy, and all of that is like comics.
Yeah.
So what comics did you grow up with?
The main thing that I grew up with was Chris Claremont and Mark Silvestri's X-Men. That was, the very first comics I received from my grandmother when I was in hospital were the Captain America issue and a couple others. But there was no X-Men. X-Men is something I discovered at the store.
Yes.
Yeah, it still to this day influences me,
So like superheroes.
Yeah, at first, and then all the way up through the big boom with the image boom happening, and then sometime even in the same year, I discovered like Grant Morrison's work and Neil Gaiman and Vertigo Comics and Peter Milligan.
Grown-up stuff.
Yeah, and I shifted from superheroes over to those kind of ones.
And I know that Watchmen would have a big impact in your life.
Watchmen had a big impact. I think Watchmen had a big impact on
Everybody's life. Yeah, I agree with you. So in music, it tells the stories with melodies,
Yeah.
right? In comics, the story is sequential art.
Right.
So to create those two different areas gave you a different perspective about how to approach your work?
Yeah, they did, actually. I think just doing both and then going back and forth, I think it made me a little bit better of a storyteller, you know? And they both feed into each other and they both inspire each other, so they're really connected. Any of the art that I make is going to be really connected.
But it's really connected with you.
Just with me, yeah. The only time I ever really connected the comics with the music was with Killjoy's book, for Dark Horse Comics.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. It was. I don't quite know if it worked exactly the way I thought it was going to work, but it did work. People enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, but I always saw music in all of your works. Like in Spider-Man, there is music.
Yeah,
in
that's
Umbrella
true.
Academy, there is. So you always have to.
Yeah.
It's how you think. It's how you create.
Yeah, music is my way into a lot of things. A lot of times when I want to write a story, it's usually a song that's inspired me to write the story. So music is where it all starts.
And do you work with music? Like when you're writing, you like to listen to some music, or you prefer just silence?
No.
And what?
I can't listen to blogs. I mean, not blogs. I can't listen to podcasts while I work because it confuses me too much.
Too much words. People
Yeah, and
talking.
it's too random.
Yes.
But I listen to a lot of the Pixies. I'm listening to the new Kid Cudi record right now, which is amazing. I'm listening to the new Grimes record.
Nice.
And so I put on, just music, whatever kind of fits. And then sometimes I'll listen to like New York Dolls or something. It depends on what I'm working on.
Yeah. So a lot of creators include lyrics in their stories, and several readers like to listen music while they are reading. So what is your analysis in this intersection
between both medias? Do they really match, or do you...
I think it's just for some people, like, because I know a lot of people, well, yeah, no, they do. I know people that don't listen to music and write comics, but yeah, there are people that listen. I don't know what the connection is, but there's a strong one, people are using song lyrics and songs all the time, which is interesting because at that point it then becomes almost like poetry because, you're not hearing it. But if you know the song, then you are kind of hearing it in your head,
Yes.
which is cool.
What was the reaction of your fans when you said that you were going to start a comic book? Was it good? Nice?
I didn't really know because everything was such a whirlwind at the time. We were touring on Black Parade and we were doing tons of stuff, and I'd gone from making the record to just being on tour. So I didn't really look at opinions on whether or not I was, on my comics. Like I didn't really, care about that. I just did it.
And how did you came up with Umbrella Academy?
It was the kind of thing where I just really wanted. I felt like I'm a big fan of Dark Horse comics, and my way in for a lot of for Dark Horse was like the early Aliens books, Concrete, Usagi Yojimbo, and then and there's other great stuff I'm sure I'm missing, but Frank Miller's Sin City, and then Hellboy really was the big one I think that made me a big fan of Dark Horse, and I felt that. I was like, Dark Horse doesn't really have a superhero book, and I kind of want to write a superhero book. So I literally came up with this whole comic, I felt filling a void from something that was missing, There wasn't kind of super strange superhero team at the time, And I'm inspired by Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, but it's not like Doom Patrol. It is very different.
And how did you get to know Gabriel Bach?
Through Scott Alley, the editor of Umbrella Academy, we didn't have an artist, so we just had this pitch, and I'd done all these drawings on what the characters looked like and all this stuff, but we need somebody to, translate that.
Yeah.
And so I think at first I was looking at a kind of realism style, but then that wasn't really fitting it. And Scott had said, I found these artists from Brazil, they're really amazing. And one of the brothers I think is perfect for this. His name's Gabriel, and he showed me his work. And then I went to the comic shop and picked up Casanova, that he does with Matt Fraction and Fabio as well. And right away I looked at it and I was like, yes, he's the guy. So that was it. And then we started working together. It was a slow start. It took a few months to really get me writing scripts. But then once it started, it didn't stop.
You did a college of art?
Yeah, I went to the School of Visual Arts.
Yes. So you draw. Why don't you do your art?
I do it when I can. It's really difficult because of time constraints.
Yes.
It's just
to
tough.
do both.
If I had to write and draw a comic, I don't think it would come out for a long time. So I just stick to writing. That's hard enough, writing. I can't imagine. Artists have the toughest job, I think, in comics. Like they really make it kind of happen.
All of your work in comics, they're about kids, lost kids that lost their parents, but they have some parental figure or something like that. Why is it always about kids?
I don't know. I put a lot of myself into the books, and family is something that has always been an interesting subject to me, and children that, don't feel a strong parental sense. I guess in a way I'm kind of writing orphans all the time,
Yes. In Spider-Man there is the girl that lost his parents.
Yep.
And the Umbrella Academy, all those kids.
Dad.
And the Killjoys,
Yeah.
also the girl. So
yeah, it's true.
I was like, oh.
Although she meets her mom at the end. I don't know if any people, it's kind of under the radar, but she does get reunited with her mother. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of lost people. A lot of people that are very lost, and they don't have that support. And I don't know. I just always found that interesting.
And can you tell me something about all ages, and especially about Lemon? Because you said that he dreams of living a mundane life behind, and he also said music is his life. And I saw in an interview that it was kind of autobiographical.
Yeah, when I conceived the idea for All Ages, I really wanted to write an autobiographical comic about kind of, or semi-autobiographical, you
Yes.
know, about kind of growing up and discovering punk rock and discovering art and changing as a person and really, you know, just kind of growing and so I did want to tell that story, but a lot of other things came up. So I don't know if I'll get to do that. I want to do it.
Oh, I saw the pictures and I thought it was amazing. I love those hats.
Yeah.
They're really, really nice.
Thank you. They were fun to do.
I hope you get the time to do it.
I hope so too. A lot of people really kind of want that book, so I should probably make that happen.
And also because it's more like a drama, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
So I like those kind of comics that people can relate to that.
Right.
Like Blankets or something like that. You know,
Right.
it's not
Yeah,
only
Blankets is
fun,
great.
but
Yeah.
you can always read that and feel that, and you have to stop to reading and cry a little, then continue. So I hope you have the time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope so too.
Is there some sort of personal accomplishment of doing a comic?
Yeah, it's like making a song, or you know, or an album, or anything else. Like a series is like making an album. So there's this great sense of accomplishment when it's done, because you've gone through a lot to get to the end.
Can you
know?
compare?
It's hard to compare. I I haven't done much normal things in my life, so I don't have anything to compare it to.
No, like a music or comic. Can you compare those
They're very
feelings?
similar. They're very similar. You're starting off with an idea, and then you think the idea is great, and then you start working on it, and then you think it sucks really bad, and then you have to force yourself to keep working on it, and then most likely at some point it starts to get good again, and then you're like, this is great. That doesn't always happen, you know. Sometimes you think it's great, and then it sucks, and then it just really sucks.
Oh, and what about Umbrella Academy 3 and 4?
3 and 4 are being worked on now. I have a lot of story planned out all the way to about 8 graphic novels. I'm writing issue 3 of series 3. Gabrielle's about to start drawing, so we're looking at next year for that, and then probably the year after for series 4. So we're getting more Umbrella.
Yeah, I just read it like this week. Last week I read the Killjoys.
Yeah.
And then I started to read the Umbrella Academy. First I read the second one. I didn't finish, and then I read the first one, and then I finished the second one. Like crazy thing. But what I like it most is you miss those people.
Cool.
Like
Yeah.
you know them, and then you know how they suffered.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. I'm glad you got that out of it. I never. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people that miss those characters. So
A lot.
I'm excited to bring them back.
Please.
Yeah.
So thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Gerard.
Thank
Hope
you.
you enjoy.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Este foi o Plano Infalível com um pouquinho sobre a Comic Con Experience e a entrevista com Gerard Way. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado, então, por favor, compartilhem, espalhem a palavra internet afora, dê uma curtida aqui também e até a próxima. Tchau!